We're talking trucks at Phoenix. Sorry it's taking so long to get the videos out this week. Kind of been pretty busy with stuff over here. Secondly, practices tonight for the truck series. That'll be thrown into the sheet as soon as practice is over. I will be live before each race this weekend for the trucks, for the Xfinity, for the Cup Series, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for going and checking out those live streams, because you guys always do. When we look at the race at Phoenix, I want to take a quick look back at the last two races here, because if we go back 3 years, they were still finishing the series at Homestead. And why do I want to look at this specifically? Because both of these races have been a situation where it's a long run to the finish, okay? These races have gone green to the end. When we look back at 2020, we had a yellow on lap 149, literally like half a turn away from Moffitt winning the championship. We have the 41 of, was that Cram? Was that Hutchins? I don't remember. I'm pretty sure it was Cram. Parked it in turn 3 and just stopped right out the yellow. Didn't have power, but Moffitt was literally one lap away from winning the championship. I think everybody does forget that. And he lost championship because he didn't have tires at the end of that, okay? He stays out on like 80 lap old tires because he's the leader. Everybody else pits and just Creed absolutely runs away. Moffitt falls through the standings and finishes 10th with 78 laps led. When we look at this race here last year, it went green to the end. I also want to add that in 2020, because the stage is, I mean, it's 150 laps here. Usually the last stage will start somewhere around 103 to 104, depending on how long it takes for stage 2 to end up. Anyway, when we look at both of these races practically go green in the end, okay? Other than the 41 bringing out the yellow in 2020 last year. And both of these races have actually had a crash on the restart entering stage 3. But past that, it's a long run. Last year, we have the restart in lap 101. We have a caution on 102 with not Gus Dean, Spencer Boyd stopped on track. We go from lap 106 to 150, green flag. Okay, and so when I'm looking at this race here, I'm expecting it to go pretty green. I don't foresee just a ton of stupid things happening in this race. I do want to point out that personally, for me, I don't enjoy putting a lot of lineups into the championship race. I think there's a lot of variables that I don't necessarily like playing with, like the case of, like, not everybody is trying to win this race. I hate to say that, but that's what it is. Like, sure, the championship 4 guys are racing, but, like, you don't want to be the dum-dum that wrecks the people racing for the championship, And so typically a lot of people give more room to these guys. They don't race them nearly as hard. Like, look, Nemechek isn't competing for the win or for the championship. Friesen isn't competing for the championship. Enfinger is not competing for the championship. But these guys have had top 7 cars every single track this year, basically. Like, those guys would usually be mixing up for 2nd, 3rd, 4th, whatever the case is. I don't foresee them doing that. Like, look, Nemechek is not going to fuck up Chandler Smith. Friesen is not going to be stupid and wreck like Zane Smith or something late in this race, or like push really hard. Like, it, I don't know. Personally, I'm not a big fan of leaning towards playing a lot of lines in these races. When we look at how the tracks that I want to look at and the cars that I want to look at, look, we know who's going to have a good car. I'm leaning towards cars that have just been fast this year, carrying arrows. We can look specifically at the Richmond race. We can look at IRP. I would say that both those would be really good starting points. We can even look back at the first Richmond race, if I am not an idiot. Did they race here last? Richmond. Am I an idiot? They just raced here. What track am I looking at? Hold on. Gateway. I'm trying to find. I'm missing one before Sonoma. I couldn't figure out what track I was looking at. And so I would look at the speeds that people carried at Gateway, at Richmond, at IRP. Add that with just where these guys are in terms of just aero, because this is going to be a pretty, you're going to have a lot of dirty air, okay? Phoenix, and there's a reason I'm not there this year. My mom and I didn't want to necessarily pay, a lot of money to go watch these guys kind of just like goof around and go green. Like, I'm looking to go. I'm going to try and go to like Talladega or Atlanta next year. Okay, we'll go to a real track. But Phoenix, I've had enough Phoenix in my lifetime. I've been there like nearly every decade and stuff. Anyway, I think this race goes green. When we look at those 3 races, when we look at Gateway, when we look at IRP, when we look at Richmond, who has been the fastest car at these tracks? Okay, And let me go ahead, because this is the end of the year. I do appreciate, and for those of you that did sign up for the final month as like a thank you and everything like that, I do appreciate you. We appreciate you like that. Regarding the Patreon, I'm gonna turn it off in December. I'm gonna turn it back on in January. I understand that's not your cup of tea, but last year or this year, 2022, we started in January. A lot of people joined, so we're gonna do it again in case you guys want to look over the stuff during the off season, right before we get to Daytona and things like that. So let's go ahead and look at where these guys are. This is race rating in a numerical value. I don't want to scroll all the way to the right. I didn't mean to click that. I don't want to scroll all the way to the right too much. But when we look at these, God damn it. Sorry. When we look at these races here, like, look, we look at Richmond, we look at Richmond, we look at IRP. My mouse double clicks a lot, so I'm trying not to use it a ton. And we look at these races here. Who's had a not Texas, good lord, Gateway. Who has had a killer run based on race rating, and then we can then look at how these guys actually, because make sure my head isn't in the way. We can also look at Martinsville, but I want to look more at the faster tracks. When we look at Gateway and how these guys ran, Chandler Smith had the second best car at Gateway, ends up finishing third. When we look at how he ran at IRP, 10th best car there, ends up finishing IRP in 18th. You got to remember that is when he had damage, and he was put in the wall by Zane Smith in that race. During the race, Chandler Smith had a top 6, 7 car. Couldn't necessarily get out in front of John Henry Nemechek, but being put into the fence by Zane Smith, I mean, that really did tank his day. When we look at Richmond, best car based on where he was running at Richmond, he ends up winning that race. I don't know what the odds are. This is just me. I think Chandler Smith and Kyle Busch Motorsports has the best chance of winning this race today. Or, no, not today. Winning this race on Friday evening, based off of this alone. This is what I would look at. Sorry, I gotta move some stuff around. That's how it would look there. When we're looking at Zane Smith, and let me move this here. When we're looking at Zane Smith, how did he run at these races? 4th at Gateway, 9th at IRP, 10th at Richmond. We have seen struggles here, okay? Brought it back and really made a charge late in that IRP. I'm pretty sure Zane Smith started deep in the field at IRP and was chalk based on place differential alone. When we look at Gateway 9th, 3rd IRP, 9th Richmond, like that's a concern. Like when we're trying to pin down, and I just realized this is Chandler Smith is the favorite on DraftKings with the most expensive, or he is the most expensive. I'm assuming he's the favorite as well. Zane Smith, I'm concerned. And I also think that the two guys that I would want to focus here, just like off the top of my head, would be Chandler Smith and Majeski, but we'll see if this data supports that real fast. And we can go through lap by lap data, but I think this is a really, really good starting point. And so when we look at Gateway, Ty Majeski, 11th best, ends up finishing Gateway, ends up getting wrecked in that race. I did forget about that. When we look at how he ran at IRP, 3rd best at IRP, ends up finishing the race in 3rd. That's good to see. Second best car at Richmond, moved out of the way late in the race, finishes 9th. I mean, I think, oh my God, I'm an idiot. What am I doing? I need to move this. Sorry. 3rd at IRP, second best at Richmond. Ends up finishing IRP in 8th. Ends up finishing at Richmond in 3rd. I mean, it truly, in my opinion, is head-to-head between Chandler Smith and Ty Majeski. When we look real quick, and we can look back at optimals as well. Let's go ahead and do that if I can find them. So we got the 2021 race at Phoenix here. Let's check out when we have multiple championship contenders here leading this race, and this is 21, so that would be this race. Sheldon Creed, yeah, okay, just making sure. So Sheldon Creed's optimal because he just leads just an absolute ass load of laps. Oh, it's because those are so high. It's because Creed just ran away with this race. I was like, why are all these red? Why are we getting here? I'm looking at this and not the total points here. My bad. That's on me. Why is this? That is not accurate. I need to fix this. It's not pulling right in finger. This is not accurate. What the hell am I? What am I looking at here? What is this? Because this is the optimal. What is this title? What am I looking at? Hold on. Anyway, just the issues of doing things live. I'll be honest, I'm not exactly sure. I have to ask Pearce if I remember to ask him. I don't remember what this is, and I don't remember what this is referring to. The 20. But the optimal 21 is the optimal for last year. The optimal 20 is the optimal for 2020. I do apologize for that. Anyway, when we look back at these races, and we look back at the people competing for a championship and the true fast guys in these races, this is where they're at. The thing that, excuse me, the thing that points out to me, that stands out to me rather, 2 5K guys, nearly like all the top contenders. Like there ain't nobody. If you're a nobody, you're not getting fast laps. You're not leading these races. You weren't optimal in 2021. When we look at 2020. Yet again, you got to remember that this race changed drastically late in this race because Brett Moffitt, fell through the field, still ended up being optimal, but probably would have had more points. We have Fogelman at 5.8. We have Rafael Lessart, which was a true misprice, him at $6,800. But 2 main championship contenders here. 2 absolute main championship contenders here. And so when we're looking at this race and how I want to build lines and how I want to approach this race, I really do think that you need to start at looking at Chandler Smith and Ty Majeski. I know they're 11,000 and 10.6, but we have a lot of value in this race that can give us room to budge, that can give us a place to build lines. I'm sorry, I'm so bad. That's one thing Pearce is way better at than I am. Like if I'm having to open stuff on this side or another tab, I cannot talk and do 2 things at once. He is way better with running a situation like this than it is me, because I just get quiet and I'm like, well, I gotta get this done before I can talk. All right, now I got this stupid thing up. Chandler Smith, Ty Majeski leaves you $7,100 left for your final 4 guys. I think that's very easy to work with. I think I think we can work with that quite a lot. Okay. When we go through Nemechek, looking at Zane Smith, as I said, I don't think I want to get there. I think that we're giving up too much by going to these 2 guys here. I'm going to leave the results up here, and I'll just leave it there. I think we're giving up too much going to Zane Smith, Nemechek, Corey. Ben Rhodes, the biggest underdog in this. If he wins this race, if he wins the championship, it's due to strategy, and it is due to a green-white checker late in this race. I don't foresee Ben Rhodes being a guy who leads a ton of laps in this race. I don't think he's going to be a front runner for this race. He'll probably be running 6th or 7th all day, okay? But I think it is truly between Chandler Smith and Ty Majeski. So for that reason, I'm not going to Corey. I'm not going to Ben Rhodes. I'm not going to Grant Enfinger. Not going to Stuart Friesen for the reasons that I mentioned a few minutes ago of just thinking that I don't think these guys are going to race these guys really hard, which is unfortunate, but I think that's how it's going to be. Due to that, and due to how I think we have to build, or how I want to build with Chandler Smith and Ty Majeski, I don't think I'm going to be really touching a lot of the 9K range here. Once we get further down to Craftham, Ankrum, Kraus, it'll depend on where they qualify, but unless they're like gigantic place differential plays, I don't want to go there. Matt DiBenedetto, if he can give us some place differential, maybe. I think that he is going to struggle at this racetrack in a sense of trying to be optimal or trying to get in our lines, because if he runs 11th, 10th, 9th all day, it's just not going to work out here. Lane Riggs, I just went blank. Who is the guy I was talking about? I was talking about Lane Riggs at some point in a stream last weekend before. I don't remember. Anyway, the point being was, you want to talk about a driver who is also spoon-fed, but nobody else wants to talk about him because he wasn't like a great. I think I was talking about Ty Gibbs. I don't necessarily remember. Lane Riggs, good driver. He knows what he's doing. $8,100. If he gives us place differential, he can be there. We saw how well he worked at IRP. I would lean to him. I would lean to this being a track that is going to suit him. I understand that he finished 19th at Richmond, and $8,100 for a price tag that's going to lead you to either a 7th place finish or a 19th place finish is certainly uncomfortable. But if Lane Riggs, for whatever reason, blows a corner in qualifying, he's a guy that I would foresee finishing inside the top 12, not top 12, probably top 17 in this race. Anywhere between 17th and 12th for me, depending on what we can get from place differential, would lead me to use Lane Riggs. Johnny Sauter, we'll see. Let me check. Sauter is in the Young machine, which I did remember seeing that, which is very odd that he's like doing a one-off for Randy Young. I don't see it. Literally, would you play Jesse Little for $7,800? I don't think you would. Tanner Gray was IRP. Is it Taylor or Tanner? Who was? Let me look. Tanner. Where's Taylor at? One of these guys were killing at Richmond. It was indeed Taylor Gray. If Tanner or Colby shows place differential, I'll worry about it. If not, I don't really want to chase it. When we look at how Taylor Gray ran at specifically Richmond, first off, he ran 16th at IRP, and when we look at how he ran at IRP compared to the other tracks that he ran at, good to see encouragement that he had the 16th best car at IRP despite the fact he finished 22nd. When we look at how he ran at Richmond, now this is something to really look at and pay attention to. Okay, had a really, really good car at Richmond. I believe he led laps. I could be wrong. Let me go ahead and let's go ahead and do that together because I just went blank on if. I'm pretty sure he was leading late in the race. Okay, I'm pretty sure. I can't remember. This was a long time ago. Pretty sure. Where are we at? Tanner, boy. God damn. Oof. Big oof. My keyboard is not wanting to work. Where's Tanner at? Man, I could have sworn. Where did he? Okay, now I gotta wander through. This is gonna drive me crazy. And we're already here, so let me lap by lap. I'm pretty sure he was running up there at some point in this race. So let me go ahead and look through it real fast. He had to be. Why do I remember? Did he get moved out of the way late? Did he? This is IRP, right? Luke Sawyer, yeah. Let's see. Let's look at IRP real fast. Boy, this is a real winner. What a way to end the Truck Series podcast with this dud of a podcast. Typically, if I do bad early, the Xfinity and Cup ones usually do better. Let me see. That was it. Okay, so Tanner gains positions. He either stays out or gains positions at the end of a stage, and this is like lap 130. He's running in 8th. He ran 10th. He ran in 10th. He ran in top 5 for a majority of the period there. I don't know why I thought he ran. It was Taylor. I'm an idiot. Okay, Taylor. First off, if you have twins, if you have children, don't fucking name them this similar. Taylor and Tanner, Tanner and Taylor. Like, fuck you, Gray family, for using T's in these stupid names. Like, name one of them Walter and name one of them like Carl. Let's have distinct different names out here, okay? I hate it when they're like, oh, they're so cute. They're like Tanner and Taylor. Oh, they're like little twins, little brother. I don't want that. Let's each give them an identity outside of combining them together, okay? Jeez Louise, all right? When we look at this race here, late in this race, and both these teams were trying to put these guys up front at some point in these races. So that was good to see, okay? When we look at Taylor, okay, Tay, late in this race, doing a pretty good job, okay? During the last run, drives up from 24. I'm assuming he was on new tires. Because I'm pretty sure he ends up pitting on lap 150. Here, I'll just fucking move this over. I'm so sorry. I'm doing such a terrible job. When we look at Taylor, Oh, I lost. When we look at Taylor, okay, during this run here, I mean, this is impressive, okay? Like, actually, like, having speed, this is under green, too. Actually having speed, going up, running well. Granted, it could be a tire play. You know, during this caution, they end up, I forgot how they get wrecked. Yeah, they do get, do they? Pretty sure he gets spun here. He gets wrecked. Whatever the case is, Taylor and Tanner were both put in positions all day to run inside the top 10. And I think, yes, IRP did get kind of stupid at some points, but like, look at this. Like, both drivers are given opportunities to run well in this race. Taylor right off the bat qualifies well. Like, he actually has speed here. And the whole reason why I'm focusing on this so much is because, yet again, going back to the build of Chandler Smith and Ty Majeski, $7,100 on the table, you can very easily get to Tanner Gray. Or Taylor. You can very easily get to Taylor. I need to call. I just need to learn how to not say Tanner every time I talk about Taylor. Okay? I apologize for that. Raja Caruth, double dipping, double duty this weekend for Phoenix. Okay? I would much rather play him in this car, in this race, rather than the Saturday race. He'll have more experience for the Xfinity Series. However, I think this is the place to play Raja. $1,600. Let's go ahead and I just want to take a look real fast. What is his pricing for Xfinity? I am so sorry. I've ruined this. He's why is he 6K in Xfinity? What is going on here? First off, this is mispriced due to the Spire entry at $1,600. He's $6,000 in the Xfinity Series, but that is a much tougher car and a much tougher field in my opinion. Like, just due to the fact that he's in the Spire machine, he should be able to run better. When we look specifically at Gateway, 15th best car in Gateway, 11th best, or finishes 11th there. Absolutely has a rough, well, hell, we already have this up here, so let's just go ahead and find Raja and see how this guy runs. Bro, where is Caruth here? Oh, boy. Where does this motherfucker finish at? Dude, am I an idiot? Like, what is going on? Why am I having to... Well, I'm looking at Richmond. I need to look at Richmond. Oh, my God. Okay. Why is nothing loading here? Okay, so... sorry about that. Richmond qualifies in the back of the field, okay? I don't believe he was in the Spire machine for this one. I'll have to go back and check. I mean, decent, depending on, like, I mean, look, Richmond, you really do get, like, just absolutely ran over and lapped, specifically when you're racing the 20s and stuff right here. Long, very, very, very long-winded answer, or come back to Raja. I would lean to him performing more like Gateway than he did Richmond. I think Phoenix would race more similar to Gateway than it does Richmond, really splitting hairs here. I would lean towards Gateway here. If Raja can give us a situation to where he qualifies 23rd, probably to 19th, give us top 11 upside. Well, first off, we don't even need top 11. We just need to pay off the $1,600 price tag. I think that's very easy to do. So that would be, what, like 33 points, 34, somewhere around there. 7 is 35. So I think we can very easily see Raja scoring low 30s and paying off that price tag. Sorry for the long-winded thing here. I know this is going on way longer. We're 25 minutes in. I'm so sorry. On to Wayne Self. If we see the place differential, that'll be it. I'd like Timmy Hill here. Actually, I don't. I misspoke there. Timmy Hill works more in races where we need to survive, okay? I understand you got the 17th at Gateway, 19th at, or 17th at IRP. These are races that kind of got really insane, really crazy. If this race goes green, I think that hurts the upside of Timmy Hill and Tyler Hill. Dean Thompson, No. I want to play Caden. Personally, for me, I want to play Caden. That's just where I'm at. I want to play Caden. I like that he's 68. I like what this car has been doing. I'm fine with that. Now, when we get to the value range here, I would prefer... Jake over Jack Wood. I'm not going to play Chris. I'm probably not going to play Boyd. Lawless Allen, I don't think we need to. Perkins at 5K. The fact that he only needs 25 to pay it off might actually be able to get it done. Okay, because yes, he runs terrible, but 34th at Richmond, 26th IRP, 22nd at Gateway. If now this is a situation where I don't think Blaine's going to qualify very well, and so yes, crashes would help him. But if Blaine starts like 35th, like I think we can easily see him finishing around like 27th or something, just under green flag conditions. I think that's fine. I'm not going to play Williams. I'm probably not going to play McGee. I think you really should attempt to really be aggressive on Jake Garcia. And these are finishes to where you shouldn't be 58. You should at least be like 65, 66 around there. So going back to the Chandler Smith Ty Majeski, if you use Jake Garcia here, which is what I assume I'll probably end up doing, that leaves you $7,500. You can very easily get up to more of these 6 and 5K guys, and it allows you to very easily get up to an 8 or even a 9K guy if you feel like you need to, or if there is a chalk place differential play in that range that I think we need to go to. In terms of deciding who's going to win this race, who's going to win the championship, I would lean to Chandler Smith or Ty Majeski if this race plays out in a race that it goes green. If we have a green-white checkered, it all depends on whatever the teams do. Like if they stay out on old tires, they're going to be fucked. If they pit, I would hate to be the leader, just like Brett Moffitt a couple years ago. Leading, you stay out, you absolutely get bum rushed by everybody who goes in and gets new tires. Play light. That's just me at these championship races. I want to play light. I just want to be safe and everything like that. But either way, thank you guys for listening. Hopefully this gives you a little idea. If not, just tune in the live show, and I will see you guys there. So thank you very much for being here. I do appreciate it.